The abolethist, whatever you want to call them. Or as they're most commonly known, because it's a species wide variety in, the agathomasters. A species of ancient, if alien in most cases, but in this case, the bestiary one only keeps up with one, the agathomasters. And they only share one prominent role, and that's the ruin of Aztec. Sadly enough, that's about all you get in Pathfinder's use of them. They they variety themselves up to living in the deep, dark oceans, generally hidden away from most people. And generally, you'll run into this one particular species design, and well, they're not the most powerful, prominent, or best creature. They're not something you really want to go into. Now, they always show them rolling around with magic, but the creature itself doesn't really own a whole lot of. I mean, they claim they're masters of illusions, but they own no spells. They own no abilities to deal with spells. It makes sense that they're master of illusions, because you never see the damn things. Literally only existing in one adventure path, the ruins of Aslan, and literally only living in the Aslan area. So prominently, you know, they kind of live really restrictively, not including their abilities themselves. Don't exactly sell themselves as a impressive feat. Being as they are CR7s, they're not exactly super amazing to go with. They do own quite a few at will abilities. And to top it off, they're generally on the bigger side of stuff. They're actually, I believe, in the huge category, ironically. As they are, they're always part of the aberrations. That's just generically aboleth things. They're aliens that species themselves around. Always owning dark vision. They produce their nice little mucus cloud, which is pretty brutal if you fail if you want to sit there and deal with that problem for long periods of time. Average CR, averaging hit points, they're not super impressive. The scariest part is picture them moving 10 feet on land. Other than that, I mean, they have a pretty pathetic attack, but that's not their main goal when they come to fighting you. They do own a couple levels of at will abilities and a dominate ability, which impressive as is. Considering you're probably never going to actually see them use hypnotic pattern all that often. Illusionary wall is their selling point to why you don't really see them. They've also got Mirage Arcana, Persist Image, Programmed Image, Project Image, Veil. They literally are designed just to hide. You'll probably never bother to actually see them. They have surprisingly good strength and con, but they're also big enough that you'd hope that would be the case. Feat selection, well, it's Bestiary 1, so they have pretty generic feats. There's Beyond that, they don't really particularly speak amazingly. It's surprising that they don't actually have Thaslian listed, but once again, it's Bestiary 1. You assume they speak Aboleth and Thaslian, seeing as they dealt with that ancient society. Moving on to the environment, they can supposedly exist in any aquatic, but considering their reliance on it, what do you expect? And as abominations, they have a pretty set standard look to them, ironically. They are pretty ugly to go and exist. Beyond ancient going, I mean, a 25-foot, 6,000 pound creature roaming around does put you in a pretty intimidating state. Now, their selling point, and it's probably the most common thing that you probably only ever use them for, you get this lovely mucus cloud that they produce, underwater only. But using this mucus cloud, you consume it as a potion and gain the ability to breathe underwater. Nice solid 3-hour duration. The unfortunate delusion that comes out of it is you to lose the ability to breathe above water, trapping you formally into the water. Now, I don't know about you, but a potion of water breathing is probably cheaper than any of these potions you'd buy from Mucus Cloud. And seeking that problem out, I wouldn't want to fight a aboleth every time I want something. So your choice, by water breathing or suffering by Mucus Cloud. Prolonged standard waters is probably not the greatest, especially as water breathing has a very, very, very long duration. Considering they put it up for 2 hours per level, Mucus Cloud isn't probably the option you want it to be to do that. And for their final capabilities, they do produce a slime. Now, this slime is brutal. Like, even on the level of awfulness. It's a 1 minute disease that lovely affects you with a reduction in your con by 4, effectively ouchieing yourself. On top of that, the side effect, ironically, isn't useful. As much as it sounds useful, it doesn't, because it turns your flesh very soft and basically, I think, like transparent at this level. It just states clear, but transparent's probably more accurate. And you have to keep yourself wet. Well, funny enough, it's a creature that primarily fights in water. So, between the mucus cloud that provides you free water breathing and the membrane slime that provides you, ironically, water based desires, it's not good. If it wasn't the fact that there was the 4 con that you lose from it, it's not good. I wouldn't even put this on my weakest of enemies to care about. And considering it's considered a disease, but you received no protection from diseases, so I guess that is a plus. But for the most part, it's not particularly great. And as for its many uses, they're usually used for information and not actual combat, seeing as most of them are very ancient. But overall, in the end, eh, you could do better. But for now, I will say bye bye. And those who wish to say hi, you can find me on Twitch pretty much every night. As for now, I will see you next time.